Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for November. They're a little late this month, but that was deliberate actually. For the sign of Aries, so Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, whatever area of chart you're wanting to look at. Sometimes it's interesting to listen to the reading through the filter of whatever planet you are looking at, when it's the moon, it's your feelings, when it's your rising sign, it's how you present yourself. Now, as a general reading rules apply. Roles can be reversed. It doesn't happen a lot with my readings as far as I'm aware, but I assume it can happen. But timing is far from absolute. With any form of divination, timing is not your strong point, apart from maybe astrology. Now, what you can do with this reading is ask a question beforehand. So take a moment, pause the video, think about all the questions that are around you, choose one of them and focus on it, but be aware of all of them because the cards will answer whatever they please to and not necessarily what you or I think is the the most important, the most pressing question. Again, there is a past and a present in this spread. So if the past and the present do not fit, don't try and make it fit. Go and watch your rising sign, go and watch your moon sign and see if those readings have something for you there as well. Finally, in the link down below, or if you don't know your moon or rising signs, there's a link in the in the description down below to get yourself a free birth chart. You just need to know your time, place, and obviously date of birth. So also down there is a link for the Facebook page for this channel. I advise you to sign up or give it a like or whatever. Yeah, it's give it a like, isn't it? Because I don't just post these videos here, and let's face it, YouTube notifications are a bit dodgy nowadays. I can't help but feeling YouTube is telling me what to watch rather than me choosing what to watch anymore. But also, I post all the astrology, like weather forecast videos, Achita Bava, Water Trio, Astrology Podcast, Astrology Hub, Rick Levine, Ksenia Moore, Astrology with Heather, Cameron with his WTF horoscopes, and on and on and on. So there's plenty there. I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. So if you've asked your question, and the other thing with that Facebook page, it's got an inbox. So if you want to contact me directly for a personal reading, that's one of the good ways to do it. In fact, that's the best way to do it. There is also Twitter and all sorts down there. If you press the Linktree link, it will take you to all of them. Right, so let's get into the cards. Let me just change the camera. Okay, Aries, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the vast amount of Major Arcana cards that we have in this spread. I mean, obviously, here's all the Oracle cards. Hopefully you can see it, but I just want to point out the Fool, the Devil, the Empress, Judgment, Temperance, the Magician, Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, and the High Priestess. And that's just on the first deck. The clarification cards are underneath, as you saw in the shuffle video. And on the bottom of the first deck, we have the Justice card. This indicates to me that November, or, well, a month from when you see the reading, or from whenever you see the reading, is going to be quite the pivotal time. You are undergoing a transformation right now. Now, normally I would start at the present and work outwards, but I'm actually going to start with the past this time, because with the Fool and the Devil, I feel what these past piles represent are a lesson that you have learnt in the past that you are using now for good or for ill, or that you need to remember and start using now, preferably for the good. So we have the Fool and then the Devil. I always like to clarify the Devil card as well, but it's I feel like you've had a fresh start before. You've done all this fresh start business before, and last time you ended up quite limited in how far you could actually express yourself, because you started building something, but that building seems to is that one that wants to come out? Right, Ace of Wands. Yeah, you started building something with an enormous amount of Aries gusto. Well, of course you did, cardinal sign, first cardinal sign for that matter, because Ace of Wands is an Aries card as far as I can recall. I always view it as an Aries card. And King of Swords. Whatever you were trying to build that you were attacking with gusto, it caused you quite a bit of stress and quite a bit of, do I really want to commit to this? And I think there is a point where you were committing, up until it just got to a point where, hang on a minute, I don't have the power here. I'm putting all of this work into everything that I'm doing, and I don't have the power here. So you walked away to find a way that yes, talk about major arcana. So these 4 piles, put that one back, these 4 piles represent like the astrological influences, they're energetic trends or tides that you encounter, phases that you go through, that sort of thing. And we have the Magician, the Tower, and the World. And that really reinforces my thought of you walked away to go, no, I'm going to do this in a way where I have the say. I'm putting the work in, so I'm going to have the say. I'm going to craft this the way that I want to. And I feel that you personally may have actually destroyed something, whether we're talking about you have destroyed a job, i.e. you've walked off of it and said things where you can't really go back. You have destroyed a relationship because you felt so limited there. You've just gone, stuff this for a game of darts, I'm out of here. But there is something that you yourself swept an obstacle out of your way to go, no more. I am taking my power, the Magician card here. And the world supported you in this, and it helped this destruction of whatever was impeding you. That did not mean that the work itself had finished. But you chose that you were going to stick to some quite specific rules of how you were going to forge ahead. You knew the sort of work that was ahead of you, because there was an 8 of Pentacles here. It was here, wasn't it? Yeah, 8 of Pentacles here. You were well aware of the work that was ahead of you because you've already done it once, but it didn't have the correct, you didn't have the correct liberty, the correct recognition of your authority, or the correct power within it. So it's almost like previously someone else had been channeling your efforts along channels that you didn't particularly want to go down. You wanted to forge your own channels. Thank you very much. You're the one that put in the work in. And it was like there was a line that you wouldn't cross. There was an area where I'm going to do this my way, and I'm going to be the authority here. I'm still going to charge ahead with it, but I'm well aware of the burden that I am taking on board. Now, I do feel that this burden with the 10 of Wands here is separate to the work being performed with the 8 of Pentacles here, because of this cut-off point with the Tower in this pile. It's It may be a similar work. You may be doing exactly the same thing, but it's a new environment. There's new players. Speaking of new players, we have the Two of Cups here. And this is showing me that, and the Strength card. So there is most definitely a, this whole Major Arcana thing I was talking about going on. So I do think that you were supported in this. And you were supported in this because one thing that I do get from that Ten of Wands is that sense of the exhaustion of the burden. Yes, I'm going to do this, but at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you were absolutely shattered, as in exhausted. And, it's not that you were questioning what you were doing, because you knew very well what you was doing and why you was doing it. It's just at the end of the week, why am I doing this? I'm so tired. There's, to a point, I do think that you were maybe, whatever you were doing was taking a toll on you. One that could easily be repaired, but one that then would easily arise again come the end of the following week, and you'd be having to rest or heal whatever again. And there's this there's a certain amount of repetitiveness, but that feeling is more, it's nothing that you didn't want. It was a price that you were willing to pay to go ahead with this. But it seems like recently, Queen of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Fool. So again, we've got this Major Arcana thing going on. This is, whatever this is this has been quite a pivotal time in your life. Recently, there has been those questions of, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Even though you know fine well, I nearly used a bad word there, but you know fine well why you're doing this. You are maybe going, am I doing this the right way? Is this really going to get me where I want to be? And there's been this questioning time of trying to assign value to whatever the project is that you've been working on. Whether this is a relationship, a job, a change within yourself, whatever. And that assigning value, it's been more measuring. It's been more asking the questions and allowing the questions to come to you. I don't feel here with this particular Queen of Swords. She's sat down. She's waiting to act. She's waiting to find out. But there's a certain amount of, authority with her. But a certain amount of receptivity, like I say, that she's waiting. But yes, that was where I was going. Authority. She isn't going to be argued with. So this is a force that you are encountering that is measuring the value of what you've been doing, or this is you. And I'm far more tempted to say that this is you going, so if I keep doing this way, is it going to get me further towards where I want to be? So far, I do want to say it has got you further towards where you want it to be. The question isn't, does it work? The question is, how well does it work? Can it work better? Is the progress fast enough? Is it having a deep enough effect, a great enough effect? And I think you're finding that those answers are coming to you, because like I say, I feel like that Queen of Swords is quite receptive, and we're immediately followed with the Empress. Let's see what's underneath her. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Cups, but quite an interesting Six of Cups as well. Things are not going to be how they used to be, but there is slow progress that you're well aware of, that there is slow progress towards your goal. The fertility is finally coming in. It's almost like until you asked the question, you wasn't seeing the results. And by asking the question, you are seeing the results. But the results are transforming you or the whole process in the receipt of them. So yes, can I do this faster, better, stronger, whatever? But also, there's a clarity coming about how things just slightly need to change. And I have to say, I keep this Two of Cups here, this party that's been assisting you, not even so much with the work, but with the healing and the exhaustion from the work. I keep feeling like they're going to come back somewhere here, but I can't. They're not in these two. This is all focused on you. This is you getting the clarity, or there's an underlying clarity growing about what you have been doing, how it is changing the world around you, and how it is changing you, and how you need to change to adapt to all of these other changes. You know, there's if you suddenly, right, this is a really bad analogy. You're a transformer. You're a transforming robot whose second form is a car. And we're going from like an old lead petrol driven 1960s engine to like a, you can tell I don't speak car, V8 injection engine. Now if you've suddenly got a V8 injection engine or a new super fast hybrid engine or something, because I've got to try and be a bit environmental here, but you know, despite the giant robots at war analogy, then you're going to need better brakes. You're probably going to need better suspension. You're going to need better all sorts of bits in the car to match with the new engine. And that has stretched the limit of my mechanical knowledge. But you're going to need better bits. So you have been changing, and what you have been doing has been achieving some positive results, if slowly, but now is the time to be, it's giving you a firmed out foundation to turn around and say, this is my empire, this is how I am going forward, and this is where you are delivering a call to action and being recognized by your peers. Now there was another Seven of Wands somewhere. Was it here? No. Where was this other Seven of Wands? Don't know. I'm sure I saw one. But yeah, there's King of Wands, and I think that's the second King of Wands, because you started. This is indicating that you are arriving. Yeah, there's a King of Wands here. King of Wands here. So you are arriving at where you wanted to be, but it's actually a lot more cheerful than where you thought it was going to be. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more intricate as well, is the important thing, because this King of Wands is like a fairy riding a bird. That King of Wands is a spectral royal figure in the, you know, in front of a so this is how you thought it was going to be, this spectral royal figure, big pronouncements, burning landscape, and you've ended up being more of a fairy king. Let's see if I can move this so that it doesn't reflect. There you go. So there's there's a greater sense of magic, but there's a greater sense of intricacy and a greater sense of, yeah, I'm going to have to say delicacy, I think is the right way to say it. But you are Nine of Wands, very, very nearly there. But this transformation that is you are going through is important that you carry through with it. And it involves recruiting other people, getting recognised by your peers, demonstrating your power somewhat, but in a very demonstrating your power, but in a balanced fashion. It's that sense of bringing things together to make something that is, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts sort of thing going on, because that will bring great change. And another king, that's 3 of the kings out of this deck now, which again is showing that major time, and also that taking charge and surging forward through that with the whole reading. But I'm really attracted to the fact that that one's a rabbit. So this is going to be taking you to lands that you didn't quite expect. So yes, you need to exert your power, but not in the ways that you have necessarily done before. So you've got to read the situations and go, how I would have done this is XYZ, but now I need to do alpha, beta, gamma. You know, so taking a totally different approach, because that is what is bringing on change. And there is change going on around you as well. But as long as you are keeping to tend to your harvest, you are going to be recognized for what you are doing, what you are trying to achieve, and that is going to come clear to you, but even more to others that are around you, because bear in mind, they're the ones that need to do the recognizing. You just have to acknowledge the recognition. But you have got people who will be working with you, plural here, that will be joining in quite, now that's, you will be going through quite a personal and solitary transformation while with the support of friends and community. So you're on your own and you're surrounded by people who are looking after you. And that's what this warrior card here says as well, that whatever you're going through right now, you are protected. Now, from the Wisdom of the House of Night, this talks about if it's a love reading, then you are protected. And if the person that you're with hasn't got that warrior spirit who will move to protect you, get rid of them, because someone will come along who does. So the book meaning rather sets its barriers out for one way, you know, for a whole spectrum of ways. But I also feel like you need to be recruiting your warrior spirit here. But again, it's with that Queen of Swords, King of Wands type energies of only acting when you need to and acting in a new way. Because yes, it is indeed time to take action. But the first action you need to take is recognize the progress that you are making. And then recognize how that is all changing you, your environment, and therefore what your actions need to be. We have the Lust card as well from the Wisdom of the House of Night, which the actual book meaning of the card warns about, careful, are you sure you're not becoming obsessed? But paired with the warrior card, I'm rather feeling like it's saying, yeah, you need to chase after your goal with as much passion as you always have been doing, if not more. But that passion, that fire that is within you, is something that you keep within you. That is the fire that will burn up your phoenix so you can rise from your own ashes, to really mix metaphors there. Because the strength of that lust for your goal is something that can intimidate other people. So it's almost like you need to keep that lust for your goal to yourself, but people are going to recognize how dedicated you are to this anyway. And remember, you are being dedicated within the strictures of the Hierophant here. You are making sure that you only do what is right. Sorry, I need a new candle. You are only doing what within your own moral code, what you feel to be right. Yeah, there's a certain nod to tradition, but only a certain nod to tradition. Some of these truths we hold eternal, but others are more eternal truths of, I will do this and I won't do that. You know, so it's certainly half US Constitution, half meatloaf. But there's so much going on, and this reflects the astrology of November as well, because there's just so much going on in it that you can't say there's any one theme to the month, because it's something here, then something here, then something there. You know, there's which can leave us all a bit sort of, Whereas for you, I'm feeling that you can go, oh look, there's something there, something there, something there, but I'm heading this way. You know, and all these different events and factors and energies that are going on are their backdrop. You know, and each of them will stand to benefit you. Now, there's a number of messages here with the oracle cards that sound at first glance contradictory, but they are not. Let me change cameras again. Oh no, that's totally the wrong button. Let me change cameras again and you will see what I mean. So we start with the new moon in Aries, your card. It's time to take action. So there is that call to action, but at the same time, while you are acting, using that discernment of your recent thought processes of the Queen of Swords here, there has to be both that wonderful fire inside of you, the same fire that you felt before, but within that fire, within that passion, you need to be sat back. This is stepping into stillness. Because as much as you are protagonist and participant, within this process, there's an element of you that is also observer. We have metamorphosis and we have ride the wave. So as this change, I don't think you saw my fingers there, metamorphosis and ride the wave. So as this change is going along, I think the path of that change will become apparent. Yeah, you will be igniting that warrior spirit within you. You are protected because we have got that that force that I don't think from that Two of Cups, I don't think that has disappeared. But this is reliant upon you with the Keter card here. This is reliant upon you keeping true to your code of the Hierophant, keeping true to knowing the spirituality reasons, to sound too woo-woo, of why you are doing what you are doing. And the spirituality reasons are for you to be doing this successfully is a total expression of yourself. It is you declaring to the world what it is that you are doing, who you are, what you're about. But bear in mind, all those three things, what you're doing, who you are, and what you're about, are in the process of transformation themselves. All for the better, I'm seeing here. You know, so as long as you are allowing the process, riding the wave, stepping into the stillness, you have this desire, this passion to achieve whatever you are achieving. That's it. But do not let it consume you. You need to be able to sit back within yourself and see that desire, see that that passion and that lust, and use that as a tool to really ignite the transformation that is occurring, and then allow it to happen. Ride the wave. Aron, Master of the Great Hunt from the Mausolea deck here is very much about he's in charge because he is the land. He is not in charge because he orders. He's just simply in charge because that's who he is. His is the power. His is the authority. He is the land. He is the one who sets his eyes on a target, and he doesn't care whether you come along or not. He's going for that target, and you can feel that you will go with him on that target and dedicate yourself to that, or you can sit back and just watch it occur. And I think both symbols there are quite relevant, because also with Aron, he rules not through command but through loyalty. And with this influence of friends and this healing influence here, I think they are sticking to you out of loyalty. Makes it sometimes sound a little petty. They are sticking with you because of their recognition of who you are, stroke what you are doing, stroke what you are becoming. Because how you're feeling here, we start with the Wheel of Fortune. It's like, yeah, I've worked so hard with this. I've got good friends, good support around me, so I might as well go ahead with it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, it's the Wheel of Fortune. The worst that could happen is that it all falls down. But you've lived through that. Hell, you've caused that before. So that is not a fear. And I also don't think it's a factor. I think that you do have to maybe be wary of, well, here's your fears here. That it's a false victory, that your efforts will go to nothing, and that you're trapped because you're trying to protect things. So I don't think you need to be in a position where you're trying to protect things, when with this warrior card, it is saying you are protected. You may well be protected by your own nature. You are your own protector, but it doesn't mean that you need to actively protect. It means that by being you, the side effect of that is the protection. Now, not everyone can see around you what it is that you are doing, but there is still that nurturing influence around you, who's not totally aware of all the ins and outs of what you are up to and all the ins and outs of what you are doing. But also they recognize that you are on a cycle where you are the waxing moon. I think is you know, things are increasing, and as your light increases, they can see better. So I feel that they're quite happy and supportive in this. Now, again, there's that element of keep your eyes on the prize, because I think there may be some distortions around you. There may be some, you know, not entirely true things around you, or some illusions that are around you as according to what somebody thinks that they want you to know. But the fact is that you know the truth anyway. Let them get on with it. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, oh, look at you playing your little game. Isn't that sweet? Now I'm just going to be over here doing this. And whether them playing their game doesn't affect you one way or another. You can call them out on it, or you can just go, huh, yeah, is that right? I'm busy. And let them get on with it. Because if anything, I feel that on that level, I've still got as much as this this lady on the moon card does look a little bit sort of, well, Disney Evil Queen. I don't think it's actually to your disadvantage, even if she thinks it is. It's not, because remember what I was saying about the stepping into stillness and riding the wave of change. So whatever they're up to, I think is still going to work in your favour in the long run. Let's have a look at the alternate future before I get to all the cards that wanted to jump out for your final outcome. First two decks gave 2 cards each. So there is challenge coming that will require you to be moving to a new place, so if you've been putting the work in and listening to the guidance, you will know when it's time to move on, relocate, whether that means a physical relocation, a putting your efforts in a slightly different direction. If it's a relationship thing, I am not talking about a relationship breaking up. I am talking about the two of you going somewhere. So that, because with this, we've got 7 of coins here, but this particular 7 of coins is lovely with the, I assume there would be 7 swans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the lady. So there's the 7. Oh, I'm trying to remember, because I think there was like a Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm fairy tale about a girl who was a swan, or could turn between the two forms. But I always like the swans because they remind me of Leda, Apollo's mother. But so I always find them very regal, very divine, very something that can help bring prophecy into being. Forward thinking efforts into your harvest, 7 of Pentacles. But also having some little gems, like I was saying about the transformation, you will start to discover where what you have been up to has created some surprising, unexpected and pleasant shifts or changes for the better. And it's almost a sense of, as this information comes in, it's not wish fulfillment as in sort of alakazam, there's everything that you wanted. But as you grow to understand these new little pearls, it's like, I didn't know I wanted this, but this is fantastic. This is great. I feel like I've had a wish granted that I didn't know to ask for. And that gives you the forward momentum that you are after, while okay, don't know what this means, but while allowing you to nurture from the past what you are needing to nurture, while allowing you to bring the strange back into the normal, because it's the rabbit again, but it's not that same rabbit. It's not it doesn't give me any sense of I'm late for a very important date sort of thing. It's more, come home little one, you're safe here with us, with this particular Queen of Pentacles. who obviously is very nurturing, but also with it being Queen of Pentacles, it's showing a material success, a level of material capability to nurture, which implies a level of resources, a level of success. And also there was another Queen of Pentacles, here. So again, that's also the influence of someone else around you again. So I'd assume that would relate back to this Two of Cups. But it's like you are nurturing something from the past by setting it right, by opening up new pleasant light onto the past. Because they're all in shadow, but look at how the light is shining off of the cups of these cards. It's like almost like the big reveal in some soap opera of, but what you didn't know is, ba 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 ba, and then the other character going, oh, well, that means this was all done for me and protected me from, or saved me from, or, you know, all those sort of, it's keeping something from the past alive, but giving it new life, new context, so you actually realize it's better than what you thought it had been. So, the final outcome set. Another Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Knight of Cups, the High Priestess, Ten of Swords. Now this particular Ten of Swords always, reminds me of transformation. It reminds me of a form of spiritual ascension. It reminds me that there's a reason for going through all the pain that you've gone through, to shed that pain. This is a warrior being taken to Valhalla. So there is a huge transformation here. There is a huge sort of, that's the end of that business. It needn't cause me any pain at all. This is reliant on you keeping using your intuition, because there are certain things, this goal that you've set way back when, because I do feel like this is a second attempt at something, maybe more than second, but it's a repeat attempt, updated for the modern era, obviously, you know, reimagined for 2020, but it is a second or a repeated attempt at creating something. The High Priestess is telling me, again, we've got that sense of the opposites coming together, but it's also giving me a wonderful sense of mystery, like I have with this Star card. It's that there's hidden gains, hidden benefits, hidden treasures that you are going to find through your efforts that were not things that you were expecting. But I think you're going to resolve, if there's the two forces, if there are two forces that have been clashing somewhat, you're going to resolve that eventually. Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. Your dream is coming into being, and you are getting to present it to the world in a way that is effective, and in the way that is exactly as disruptive as you want it to be. And that's what I might call this reading. So let me just check the time signature. All right, it's 37 minutes. There's nothing more really for me to say. If it meant anything to you, please do comment below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. There will be more readings coming out this week, I am hoping, because I'm definitely going to be doing the new moon, and I really should, if I get chance, do something about the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, or the third one, because I did the other two. Okay? Cheers.